Hi everyone, my name is Erik Thor and I want to talk about extroverted intuition. I want to talk about the neuroscience on extroverted intuition. And what is extroverted intuition? Well, first of all, intuition is a high use of the frontopolar network, which is involved with alternative creative thinking, cross-contextual thinking. It's involved with constantly imagining things like a glass in different situations, a glass in hyperspace, a glass in the Arctic, a glass mating, a glass is put together into a pyramid. Like this ability to imagine things around you in new situations, in new context, and the ability to imagine new uses for a glass, to say a glass is actually a building block for a pyramid, or to say a glass is a mirror, to use as a mirror. And this ability to see and to organize what you're experiencing around you intuitively, to rearrange, to constantly think of alternative or counterfactual uses, because this is kind of counterfactual in the sense that, well, it's not what you were told it was meant for. Somebody has told you sometime what a glass has is used for, but you, with counterfactual intuition, with the counterfactual thinking in the frontopolar network, tend to second guess this. And this is probably most likely because of neurotransmitters in this region of the brain. Neurotransmitters that tell you to not rehearse and to not be strict with how information is stored and organized, and to instead be fluid with how information is organized. So intuitives might just be people that are terrible at organizing sensory stimuli, because they're currently constantly reorganizing it and reimagining it. At least this is what people often say about creative geniuses, but I think it's true for most intuitives to some degree. Now, as extroverts, they also use the bottom-up network, the bottom-up processing, and this style is about, to such a high degree, thinking, looking in your environment for solutions to a problem, looking at books, looking at instructions, looking at other people, what they do, and trying to come up with the solution in the moment, in the room. Now, what's true for the extrovert intuitive would be that this this bottom-up network is highly connected to the frontopolar network. So when you use one, you tend to also use the other. And in science, these two networks are highly comparable. So there's nothing strange with making this claim at all. Now, this is not, I believe, extrovert intuition is not just cognitive. It's not just a network in the brain. It's also regulated by neurotransmitters, as in the case of the frontopolar network. We believe that extrovert intuition, or extraversion overall, is regulated by neurotransmitters in the brain, by dopamine D2 receptors in the striatal regions of the brain. And these regions, these traits tend to make us engage in certain kinds of behavior. Basically, the dopamine D2 receptors in the striatal brain regions make you more cautious overall. It makes you more likely to proceed with caution to things that happen around you. So if you have a lot of these receptors, you become a lot more cautious when you make mistakes or when you find that there is something wrong. But if you're an extrovert, you produce fewer of these warning signals. So your brain is telling you to keep going, to keep approaching, to keep taking in new information. Whereas the introvert is constantly told to step back, to think, to reflect, to use top-down processing. So the extrovert is somebody who is given constantly the sign to keep going, to keep pressing, to keep asking questions, to keep taking in new information. And what tends to happen here is, like, for an extrovert intuitive, they are constantly re-evaluating everything happening around them, as with the glass example, but with everything around them. They keep reimagining everything around them, so they have this fantasizing quality. They are constantly imagining things around them in a new context, in a new situation. What would a person look with elvish airs? What would happen if they would fall on that banana peel? Like being able to see these things as they happen, as they go. I think that's a very extrovert intuitive thing. Now, it's different for the introvert intuitive, because the introvert intuitive imagines all this inside of their own heads. when they look at the world with extroverted sensing, hypothetically speaking, they should be seeing always the regular same old glass, where the extrovert intuitive should see potential. Now, I can't say with certainty that you can only use one of these functions. Actually, I believe that we can use both of them. Most likely we can, to a high degree, learn to use any of these networks and to connect all these differently. So if you want a true explanation for the existence of the cognitive functions, we're going to have to find a lot more compelling evidence in, for example, serotonin, dopamine, and estrogen, or like the different neurotransmitters. At least that's the hypothesis I'm exploring right now. I'm learning if there is a correlation between these neurotransmitters and your cognitive functions. And this is all I have to say right now about Extrovert Intuitive. I hope you find this video interesting, and I will keep making new awesome videos. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave a message down below.